cat know, right?
No, I don't drink in the morning.
Hi, that's good news.
Snowman Sideshow.
What's going on? Welcome to Snowman Sideshow, recorded at Grim Reaper Studios, located somewhere at the base of the beautiful Blue Mountains in eastern Oregon. I'm your host, Les, the Snowman Kinnear. I have a weird show for you tonight. No real plan. I'm just going to go over some stuff and do some cold calls. We'll see what kind of guests we can get tonight. Hope everybody's doing good. I know I'm not ready for winter, but it's coming. It's fall. It's November. I'm not stoked about that. But nothing I can do about it. Daylight savings just happened, and I guess I'm hearing that this is it. Next spring, when we move them forward, we won't have to do it again. I hope that's true. I'm sorry. I just hate changing the clocks. Just annoys me, but I'm sure there's good reasons for it. Anyways, so we got, what else we got going on? I did want to bring up, well, speaking of weather, luckily a couple of weeks ago, some family members took my wife and a couple of kids, took us to Palm Springs, and we stayed at the Oasis Resort. Man, that was nice. We were living good. Good weather. Hung out by the pool, drank lots of delicious cold beverages. Got to go out and eat a few times and check out some artwork, some art vendors downtown at the market. So that was awesome. It was a great place. Never been there before. I definitely want to do it again. One crazy story, one thing that did happen there was we were just hanging out in the pool one day. Gentleman comes over and gets in the pool, and he starts kind of striking up a conversation with my wife and the family, and we're all just kind of hanging out there and get to talking to him. And turns out this guy is a former NHL play-by-play broadcaster, and goes by the name of Ralph Stranges. So I looked him up while he's talking, and sure enough, the guy's got like 7 Emmys, and he's just, this really interesting cat that is in the broadcasting business. Well, I couldn't help but plug it, and I'm like, well, my son, who wasn't at the pool at that moment, I said, my son is going to GCU, and he's in the broadcasting program, and so, man, I'd love for you to give him some advice if you can get him down here to the pool. So anyways, he didn't come down at that moment, but a little bit later, another day, a couple days later, my son and I met him at the pool again, Ralph Stranges, and yeah, it was great. I mean, he just gave all kinds of good advice to Blake and kind of offered some help along the way and told him kind of what to expect. And so anyways, it was a really cool deal, and it's just weird how the world works. Just boom. See the guy right there at the pool, and then next thing you know, Blake has an opportunity, my son. So anyways, that was really cool. Loved Palm Springs. What else is going on? Big news, very big news. Empty nester. My wife and I are empty nesters for the first time in 25 years. Bittersweet, of course. We love our children, and but wow, I mean, I haven't stopped walking around nude for 2 days now. I'm joking. That's not true. Wife wouldn't allow that. But it's just interesting that 25 years ago, it was just her and I, and now it's back to that. So let the good times roll. What else? Man, I really want to get, when I got back from vacation, a coworker of mine got a hold of me, and he said, hey, I got a story you're going to want to hear. So I get a hold of him, and he tells me about a friend of his who had a Bigfoot encounter this summer. And so we didn't get into too much setting up an interview with her just yet, but he told me kind of her story, and I don't want to give away too much because I want to get him on the show maybe to talk about it, and maybe even her. But very interesting encounter, and how she's a believer. So I don't know. What do you say to that? So we'll have to try to get Jeff on. Yeah, what else is going on in the world? Sports, World Series, Houston Astros. I know. My son is really not happy about it. He's a big Phillies fan, but you win some, you lose some. So good on Houston. Pretty cool. The only other thing I've been paying attention to is UFC 280 a couple of weeks ago. I watched that, mainly to watch Sugar Sean O'Malley. We like to watch him at this house because he's also our son's landlord in Arizona. So if he wins, Blake's rent goes down. If he loses, Blake's rent goes up. So anyway. But he got a controversial win, so that was fun. And boy, you know what? I haven't done weird news in a while, but I saw this going through the headlines today, just looking at it. I gotta read this. The National Park Service wants humans to stop licking this toad. I'll just kind of go through it here real quick. So, go into almost any park, and there's often reminders to refrain from going near, petting, or feeding wildlife. Not licking strange animals was simply a given until now. The National Park Service has added tongue contact with the Sonora Desert toad among its various warnings for park visitors. As we say with most things you come across in the national park, whether it be a banana slug, an unfamiliar mushroom, or a large toad with glowing eyes in the dead of night, please refrain from licking it. The agency wrote on their Facebook page this past week. The toad, also known as the Colorado River toad, is about 7 inches in size, carries a low and weak-pitched ribbit, but the creature is far from harmless. The Sonora Desert toad's secret is that they have a potent toxin that can make people very sick if they touch it or get the poison in their mouth, according to the Park Service. But despite that, apparently the toxic has a hallucinogenic in it, known as 5-MeO-DMT. And I guess that's the issue, is people are licking these to to go on a trip, I guess. But that's really bizarre to me. Goes on, talks about how they do use that chemical from this frog for a lot of things. Boxing legend Mike Tyson spoke about it, and some of the other, a lot of benefits to it, I guess. But I guess you just don't really want to lick a toad. It doesn't strike me like a smart thing to do. Weird. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we, that's about all I got for weirdness. Let's jump in and see how our good friend down in Southeast Texas is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show from Southeast Texas, Kevin Pork Chop Klutz. What's going on, Pork?
Not much. Sitting in the dark.
Sitting in the dark? What's going down?
Man, the lights went out in Texas, I'll tell you.
Really?
I was sitting on my back porch, and the lights flickered, and I heard the dang, transformers started humming.
Yeah.
It was wild. It's like a Stephen King movie.
Yikes.
So, lights out.
Lights out, Tony. Okay, and it's Sunday night, and you got work in the morning, so...
Oh, man. Mosquitoes. I come sit in my truck.
Really?
One for the air conditioner, because it's so dang hot. And the mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes, they're thick this time of year, huh?
Still. Yeah, it ain't got cold enough yet.
No, they just want to suck constantly.
Oh, yeah. They tear your ankles up.
Yeah, hate it.
Yeah.
So what's going on down there in Southeast Texas?
Oh, we just doing a little celebrating.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Houston Astros, World
Yeah.
Series champions.
Hard to believe. Come on. You love it.
It was a great game last night. It was a great series. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about it, man. It's been a slow, dead weekend.
Nothing
We look for events, and there's just nothing going on.
Right
I don't
on.
know if it's. I mean, there's fall festivals and all that stuff everywhere, but this weekend there wasn't nothing.
Yeah,
the
that's
week.
all right.
Yeah.
What kind of weather you got going on?
Well, I went to bed last night. It was about 60. Woke up this morning. It was 70.
What the? Okay.
Yeah. We
All
had that. We had a front come through Saturday morning, early. It was Pacific from the northwest. Your region,
Yeah, you're welcome.
and yeah, it blew through, a bunch of wind and lightning, and brought some cool temperatures, and it lasted one day, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was 85 today.
Wow.
Yeah,
Any humidity?
yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I like the 85 temp, but the humidity was up a little bit.
Yeah. That's why you got to move up here to the Pacific Northwest. It's nice and crisp and cool right now.
I don't know, it's like that old saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
Because come December, January, February, I'll be glad I'm here, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
I'll have to migrate,
Right.
go up there in the summer and here in the winter.
Well, is there any new gossip from the area? Like any new stories? Any crazy stuff been going on? Any gossip? Any BS about somebody that you want to share, to all our listeners? I mean, what's going on in Southeast Texas? I know you went golfing and you've been busy and, work and all that, but what about, like, gossip? What's going down?
I mean, I don't
Dig
really
deep.
have. That's what I'm saying. It's just so dead here.
Well,
There's nothing to talk about.
let me just ask you this, though. How about this? How about some wisdom? I mean, you have been to the depths of hell and back. So you tell me
Yes.
right now, give me some wisdom. Let's talk wisdom then. What's on your mind?
I've been doing some deep thinking today.
Please, go on.
And I don't know. I don't even know where to start on it.
Please start somewhere.
It's just like I don't know. I don't know if I should bring it up.
Are you feeling speechless?
I'm feeling like I know what I want to say. I just don't know where to start. How to say it.
Right. Hey, listen, that's okay.
know.
We just wanted to touch in tonight with Southeast Texas to see what's going on with Pork Chop. It's been a while. We're trying to get back in the swing of things, but hey, here we go. Here comes fall. Let's see what happens. It was good to hear from you, and we'll talk to you next episode.
Hey man, I wish I had some more interesting stuff for you, but that's just Southeast Texas. That's all I can give you.
Okay. One more thing though. Say one. Just dig deep right now and give me something deep. I mean, that will rock the listeners. Go ahead, and we'll leave with that.
Oh man,
Let's rock them. Rock them deep. Rock them deep. Rock them deep. You know what I mean? Just something deep from your heart. What's that?
I'm going blank. You put me on the spot. You put me on
All
the
right,
spot.
all right. Never
I
mind.
need it.
I'm just
gonna need
teasing.
a heads up.
You what?
I can't.
No, I didn't give you a heads up because I wanted to, artistically, I wanted to dive deep into your soul. But we'll do this another time. God bless you, and I love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Love
All right.
you guys.
Peace.
Later.
Oh, that pork chop. He is one silly cat. Man of few words, but when he does speak, it reverberates everywhere across the universe. All right, well, you know what we need to do next? We need to reach out to my good buddy John McCullough. You know, I'm sitting here thinking about that whole Bigfoot thing. And I'm pretty sure he's had some sort of Bigfoot encounter. So maybe we'll give him a call here and see what he has to say. All right. Just get him on the phone then. Let's do it. Let's just do it. I'm just going to wing it and call him. I will just do it right now. Okay, let's see what he says here. I'm going to hit call.
Am I in line?
You are live on the Snowman Sideshow. Johnny Mac, how are you? What's going on?
I'm pretty good.
Great. Listen, I had to get a hold of you tonight because something happened recently where a guy I worked with told me that he had a friend tell him over the weekend or recently that over the summer she had an encounter with a Bigfoot. And so she's now this big-time believer up in northern Idaho is where it happened. And I can't get into details because I'm saving that for another episode. But I started thinking, you know, if there's one guy I know that's from the mountains and of the mountains, it would be John McCullough. And I don't know that we've ever really talked about anything that you've ever had, any encounters or any sort of knowledge that you have seriously on the subject.
Yeah.
What do you got?
What do I got? I am totally into Bigfoot. I love the folklore.
Yeah.
I like the mystery of it. My uncle carved out Bigfoots and sold them because he was into them too. I remember.
That's cool.
I think it was 1978, 79. I was just out of high school, but never encountered one. But went down to see the footprints that had been left along the river there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What river is that?
That'd be the Cowlitz River out of Packwood, Washington.
Wow.
So yeah, we went down there because we had heard that there were footprints found, and this was right about the time, you know, it was really getting popular. And
Right.
yeah, so when we was down there, they had the newspapers down there. They had photographers. And
Really? The newspaper was there and everything?
Yeah, they had people taking pictures.
That's
and
cool.
so to do an investigation on it. But yeah, some friends of mine and we went down and took a look at the footprints. Yeah, I think we might have took a couple pictures of it ourselves. Oh, I don't know whatever happened to that. But you know, I mean, yeah, I've been in the woods just hunting a lot. I mean, haven't run into one, but you know, you hear sounds while you're out there sometimes.
Right.
You kind of scratch your head going, what the heck was that? But that's as close as I got.
Well,
That's
I tried to go squatching this summer, and so I set up I reserved a campground up at Indian Lake, just out of town here, and me and my buddy and my son went up there. But you know what? The more beer we drank, the less we wanted to get away from the fire. But in all honesty, my dad really loves the folklore, and he goes to conferences and he gets into it, and I like it's fun. It's a fun thing to do, and but I'll be honest, if I listened to a podcast called Sasquatch Chronicles, and at first I did not believe, but 800 episodes later, some of the stories that these people tell, I'm like, surely they're not all lying, and a lot of them, I'm just telling you, if this really is true, hell, I don't know if I would go back. If I saw one, I don't know that I'd go back in the woods. But until I see one, I'm like, I don't care. I love being in the mountains.
My son, he goes out and he does the squatching as well with his friends and does the coast range. I can tell you that my uncle he came out to Washington from Oklahoma and was in the woods a lot, hunting moose and fishing and stuff. He'd go to Canada all the time, and he drove back from Alaska one time, and he said staying in the middle of the night there in his canopy in his pickup. He said alongside the road, but it was in the forested area. He was just traveling to get back to Washington. He said he heard some screams and howls at night, and that he said he had never heard before, and it put tingles right down his back. But I remember him telling that story to my dad, and he believed in it, and that's why he started carving all that Bigfoot statues and stuff like that. But yeah, he said he heard that one night on the way home on a several-day trip back from Alaska, and he said he'd never heard anything like that before. And I remember my dad would ask me, "Well, was it a cougar or something?" He said, "No, it was something." He said it just scared the heck out of me. So yeah, he's a believer too. So you never know. I mean, I don't know. There's a mystery out there that
I mean, if that is true, then I would, there's a lot of things that can be true, and I want it to be true because it would be amazing. It would be crazy, but at the same time, then everybody would want to hunt them probably, or but you can't catch them. That's the thing. They rule.
Mm-hmm.
They rule.
Well, they probably lived in the forest for thousands of years, So even the Indians had talked of that kind of stuff, back in early days. So pretty wild, huh?
It's getting closer and closer. I mean, there's more and more sightings. I feel like something's going to give. Something's going to break. Now, the only problem is I have a special correspondent. He's been on the show before, Big Ern Lundeen. He works for the government. He's a surveyor, and he spends, let's see, I think he was down Grants Pass area for several years, and now he's kind of up in Salem. But, I mean, he just that's all he did all day long was run around the mountains. And I would tell him, off the beaten track, finding those meets and bounds and all that stuff. But I would always ask him, "You haven't seen anything? No signs? No nothing?" And he's like, "Nope, nothing yet." So I know we've got him. That's our special correspondent that's deep in the woods, and he hasn't seen anything yet. So I'm hoping that'll change, but we'll see.
He'd be the one to follow and ask for sure.
Yeah. Well, Johnny Mac, I really appreciate you on short notice coming on the show. I've got to get you back here and maybe make you a featured guest because I know you've done a bunch of stuff, and we were actually business partners. I mean, yeah, you kind of ran off with the business, but, we won't.
That's okay. I mean, it paid so well that how could you not?
Exactly. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and I will talk to you real soon. Thanks, man.
All right. Anytime, buddy. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. That is one cool dude. Okay. That was kind of, that was zany. I know. But it's weird how it's just kind of become the unofficial topic of tonight's episode. I haven't even got to the full interview with the guest yet. I gotta find one. I gotta find a guest. You know what I think we'll do, though? I think we're gonna just stay with the theme. We will, let's reach out to the owner of Wandering Wizard Concepts and host of Words of Wisdom and Other Delicacies on all major podcast platforms, Joe Byrnes, also former guest. Let's get this cat on the phone, because I want to see, his family has a lot of property up in them there hills, and maybe since we've unofficially covered Bigfoot, we'll see what he has to say about that topic. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Joe Byrnes, welcome to Snowman Sideshow. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. Excited to be a part of it.
Hey, it's been a while. We're kind of rusty, huh?
It has been a while, man. We need to get back on that horse and ride.
Yeah. Well, I plugged, of course, Wandering Wizard Concepts and Words of Wisdom and Other Delicacies on all major platforms that play podcasts. But I know you've been busy playing football or not playing, I should say, coaching. And
Yeah.
But before we touch on that, I wanted to ask you, because somehow it's kind of weird. The unofficial topic tonight has become Bigfoot. And a previous, or a friend that we both have named Jeff Morrow, he told me recently about a friend of his that had an encounter this summer up in northern Idaho.
Really?
Yeah, the actual encounter. And so it got me to thinking, because I want to see if I can get him on the show, or maybe even her, and see if they want to talk about it. But I thought, you know what, Mr. Byrnes, he's a hunter. He's a mountain man. His family has land up in the mountains, them there hills. They've hunted them for generations. What do you know about this phenomenon?
The phenomenon that is the old Wendigo, or the Sasquatch,
Yes.
or the Yeti, or the Bigfoot,
Right.
or I'm sure there's a million other names for him. Well, honestly, it's something that's fascinated me for a long time, and there's kids yelling upstairs, as per the norm. Anyway, it is something that's fascinated me for many years of my life, and it's just interesting. It's like there's all the evidence out there. There's all the sightings and footprints and hair samples and things like that, and yet there's still doubters. There's still people that say it's a hoax or it's something else, and I haven't seen anything yet to sway me into the non-believer category. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Now, have you ever heard, like, did your grandpa or anybody ever say anything growing up up there in the mountains?
I can't say that anybody connected to my family has, but I do have friends who've shared stories of, finding sign or finding, hearing the calls or the knocking on wood, or finding the footprints or hair follicles, things like that. So,
yeah. But I know you and I tried. This year was first annual Squatch Fest, Indian Lake Squatch Fest. Sadly, we didn't get any hits, but we didn't get far from the fire either, did we?
No.
So maybe next year we'll hit it better next year.
Yeah, next year we'll get some headlamps and and some bottled water and some pheromones and stuff, and we'll do it right. Yeah,
maybe some like meat products hanging around us or something.
Yep, exactly. We'll just buy like some link sausages.
Yeah.
And we'll just tie a little tether around us, and
right.
Just walk through the woods, just giving off the call.
Yeah. Do you ever ask your dad what he thinks about it, Sasquatch?
Yeah, I haven't. I something tells me though that he would laugh.
Laugh you out of the house. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like all that bullshit.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know. Or he could be one of those guys that's a believer, so to speak.
Right. that's what it's all about. Until you see one, then you're a believer. There's nothing you can do about it. So,
Well, yeah, or even when you don't see one, and you know, until you're proven otherwise, you're just going to have that hope that it's there.
yeah. So you just finished football season coaching?
Yes. Yep.
How did that go?
Well, I mean, it was fun, but the season sucked. We didn't win a game.
Okay. Well, maybe I should have thought about asking that question. But
no, it's all good. Yeah, we knew it was going to be a rough year. When it's new coaches, I was the only returning coach from previous seasons. You got all new kids coming out, playing positions they've never played before, and it was a rebuilding year for sure. I mean, I was hopeful we might get a win or two just so they can get a taste of it, but it's something to build on for sure.
Yeah. Was this your last year? Or are you gonna maybe do one more?
I think I'll stick around for one more just so I can see my nephew through.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. If he wasn't playing though, like if he were to come to me tomorrow and say, "Hey, I'm not playing football next year," then yeah, I'd probably hang it up.
Right on. Okay, how's the music scene going for you? You jamming or playing at all?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. Still jamming with the same group of guys. We've been jamming together for quite a while and haven't played a gig yet.
No gig in sight yet.
We're working towards it. I mean,
Okay.
we're getting, but the thing about this group is instead of just playing your typical bar fare, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're challenging ourselves with more stuff that's, a little bit harder to play, harder to, lots of different parts, lots of,
Right on.
lots of creativity and stuff, really taking our time to tighten our sound and figure out, how we're going to do this or that. And it's working out pretty good so far. I think we're right on that cusp of, putting ourselves out there for a local gig.
Right on. Now, I know since you are the CEO of Wandering Wizard Concepts, I was curious how the design world's going with signs and art and other things that you do.
Well, I did take a little bit of a hiatus over the last few months, but I have started building my portfolio a little bit. I've been sketching some ideas and some designs down, and I'm actually pretty hopeful that within the next couple weeks I can really jump back into creating some of those and getting some of that stuff out there and start advertising a little bit and hopefully start selling a little bit.
Right on. Well, you keep us posted so we can help spread the word.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you on short notice. Again, it's kind of a weird episode. I'm just kind of going through my contacts and following where the rabbit hole takes me, and
that's the best way to do it, man. I mean, it's
why not?
Absolutely. And and that's another thing I'm planning on getting up and rolling again is the Words of Wisdom and Other Delicacies podcast.
Yes, definitely keep us posted.
Yes, I haven't put anything out on the air for a while, but that doesn't mean I haven't been doing anything.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes, script writing and really building up a plan for like a series of episodes kind of all tied together.
Right.
It's going to have a lot more, it's definitely going to be a lot more organized and structured than previous episodes.
Okay.
It's going to have that same kind of laid back, let's just see where this goes kind of feel to it. But it's just gonna, be a little bit tighter. Right. And I'm really looking forward to it. Got in touch with a couple podcast gurus who offered their words of wisdom. No delicacies though.
Right. Right.
But anyway, so yeah, things are kind of trending upward for the old Wandering Wizard and Words of Wisdom.
Nice.
Era. Yeah,
nice.
I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun to just sit down and just vomit out whatever's on your mind.
Exactly. Okay, well, I appreciate your time tonight, and if you would just do me one big favor, though, as to close this, would you give me 2 or 3 of your best Bigfoot whooping calls?
All right, let me step outside the house so I don't scare the kids.
Okay, this is important.
Yes, this is and for your listeners, just know that this is not a skill that was developed overnight. This was something that I've been working on for a while now to really hone in and tighten up to get the old Squatchy to come in and say howdy. So anyway, here we go. So this is a male call. This is a male Squatch, an adult male. You'll notice.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a difference between adult and juvenile Squatch calls. But anyway. That was a male, signifying that he is single.
Okay.
And ready to mingle.
I'm curious what a juvenile sounds like, though.
Same thing, just more high pitched.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight, and we will talk with you soon.
All right, thanks for having me, man. And yeah,
All right.
Snowman Sideshow. Love it.
Peace.
Keep it going. Later.
Oh, that cat. That cat. You gotta love him. All right, there's no other person I can think of that I should call at this moment to wrap up this show other than my good buddy, Big Ern. So let me get a hold of this cat. He's going to help us on this Sasquatch question.
Yes, how's it going?
Good, my brother. Big Ern, how are you doing?
Oh, living the dream. A wonderful United States Marine Corps birthday, you know?
That's right. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hey, so listen, I appreciate you taking my call on short notice. I did a kind of a weird episode where I just kind of went down a rabbit hole in my phone contacts, and of course it went down the rabbit hole of Bigfoot. And I even quoted earlier, I said, hey, I know a guy, I got a buddy, Big Ern, he goes out to the edges. I mean, the edges of nowhere. I mean, looking up, because he's a surveyor and he's looking like meets and bounds or whatever, you know, rods, chains. He's where people don't normally go. And he's been doing this for a little while now, and he tells me he's seen nothing. He's heard nothing, nothing strange. So I just wanted to get your kind of take before I wrap this up.
Well, part of the problem that I've seen and heard nothing is I always have my Sasquatch repellent with me, which is a working camera.
Right, exactly. Okay.
And so that's part of my issue. Yes, you're right. I've been all the way from Southern Oregon, all the way up to Port Angeles, Washington, up by the Olympic National Park working, and have not seen anything, nothing to report, no visuals. No sounds or smells have led to anything either.
Okay, so you are aware of the key indicators, obviously.
I'm aware of odd things potentially that could arise.
Right.
I'm not really up on specifics for the Squatch.
Right. So what about and you know, let's just back up here. You're a hunter, and you grew up in you know, Eastern Oregon, in the mountains. You ran around. Yep. So this isn't. Yep. I mean, you've been in the mountains most of your life.
Yes.
Yes,
I have.
And you have seen nothing, heard nothing at all. And
Zero.
So what about, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think so many people are seeing something then and saying stuff? I mean, do you think there's just a lot of
magic mushrooms are out there?
That's true. That is true.
So I don't know.
And now weed's legal in a lot of states. Yeah. So yeah,
Oregon's just weird in general a lot of times, and people like to cut loose and do things. I don't know.
Okay.
People get scared of their own shadow, though, too.
Right. Let me ask you this. Are you open to the idea that it could be possible, or are you just saying, no, I've been in the woods, I don't see it, or are you saying, no, I would love to? That would be awesome.
Yes, it would be way awesome if there was such a thing. But scientifically, just like applying some general ideas of science and genetics and things like that, if there was a Sasquatch out there, somebody would have found it by now. We've had a lot of people out there looking and not looking with all sorts of stuff for years and years.
And
I don't know.
And am I correct in saying that there's times when in your job that you literally have been out where most people would never be?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I go places where people will never go back to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And that's the part is I'm like, you haven't seen anything yet. So, you know.
Yeah, we got out. Actually, we got out to one spot on my last job up at the Olympic National Park. And we got way down in this hole, climbing back out of it. Some bear started following our instrument operator. Yeah. Just a little brown bear. So, it's not. Right. It got a little curious and then it meandered off and did its own thing.
Right.
But yeah, we've run into stuff all the time out there.
Right. But no Squatch.
No Squatch.
Okay. All right. Well, I like the idea that you're still open to the idea of reporting back to us if you do find anything. I would like another episode to talk to you about aliens, but I don't want to get into it right just now. Other than that, though, that's it. Ern, I needed your expertise on this subject for just a moment, and I appreciate you going down the rabbit hole with me.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, last time I was on, I did not do a very good job spitting some wisdom to you. Can I throw a little at you?
Oh, are you serious? Would you please? Really?
Okay. I'd just like to let everybody out there know that today's show has been like a sore Peter.
Oh.
You can't beat it.
Thank you. Wow. I just got choked up. Thank you, man. All right, brother. I appreciate it. Later. Oh, boy. Big Ern. What do? He's a Marine. You got to go with him. I mean, all right. That was wild. Well, what a strange episode. Here we are, finishing this baby up. Sasquatch. I don't know why we went down that route, but we did. And that's okay. I want to give a shout out tonight to Santo Tequila by Sammy Hagar and Guy Ferrari. Delicious stuff. My dad got me some of this stuff, and I tried it tonight. Obviously, you can tell by the slur in my speech, but it was delicious. Love it. I highly recommend it. I also want to say happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps. Oh, hell yeah. We have Big Ern on tonight. He's a Marine, so show some respect. And then, I guess I'm the one that has to spit wisdom tonight. And it's cliche as hell, and I've said it before, but do what you love, and the money will follow. And that's deeper than what it sounds. Money will follow. Doesn't mean you're going to be rich. Just means you're going to be rich in whatever makes your heart feel full and happy. With that, I want to thank tonight's guests, listeners, and sponsors: Bill Murphy Roofing, Liberty Detection, Wandering Wizard Concepts, Vertical Jigs and Lures, DLC Photography, The Shop, DieselFuelFilterKits.com, History Hunters and Firearm Antiquities, Metal by Mora, and, of course, the John P. Salter Foundation. That's a wrap. Be sure to catch the next episode. Until then, keep your nose clean if it takes both sleeves. Say nice things about me, 'cause I'm gone.